Welcome back to my Aston Martin Rapide restoration. In this episode we check out my 1.5 Aston Martins. We go on a parts hunt with all the parts that I have. And we check out what other cars they have in the workshop at this moment in time. Hey, how's it going guys, and welcome back to another episode. If this is your first time watching, then please subscribe because there is a crazy project that I'm currently involved in and you're going to want to follow this. So if you watched the previous episodes, you would have seen that I bought myself a Aston Martin Rapide, which was not in the best of shapes, and then I bought another half of an Aston Martin Rapide, which I'm going to be using as parts car. And I just want to show you the current state of the car, because this is, honestly speaking, the world's biggest Meccano set. So let's have a look. So the parts are actually split across 3 different workshops. So this is sort of workshop 1. Let's call this supercar restoration. So it's basically boxes and boxes of parts. Let me just take you through the parts first of all. So that's our differential, gearbox, and the drivetrain. This is the exhaust box, which actually came off the donor car, so it's really useful having that. That's the under tray cover for the gearbox, and then we've got the exhaust behind. We've got one light down there, but I'm considering maybe actually changing both of them. One needs changing anyway. I'm thinking about maybe just doing both of them at the same time. We've got loads of stuff underneath here. That's the old box, and as you can see, that's bent out of shape. So that's pretty much toast. So I was quite lucky to get that one, which is in great condition. Then the exhaust pipes and things like that, all the covers. That's one of the under trays. There's actually another one around here as well. And then you'll see a load of parts with this brown interior. Now this brown interior came off the donor car, so anything with brown is from the donor car. So all the carpets and stuff, I'm not throwing anything away, I'm just keeping everything until I'm done. So even like the old door handle there, this is boxes full of bits, full of parts, and a lot of those parts we actually need. I got another under tray, which you see over here, and this is actually in better condition than my one, so gonna keep that, probably use that one, and yeah, it's just loads and loads of parts. That's the wheel liners, so I now have sort of multiple sets of wheel liners, you know, but basically anything that's come out of the cars is over here. And I'll explain when I say everything that came out of the cars, because we're going to go and have a look at the cars. Actually, before we head over there, I thought let me just show you around what they've got over here. So they've got a Phantom Drophead, which came in for a repair on this door. So they've actually done the repair, done the paint. I don't even think it was a repair. I think it just needed to be resprayed, and a few other bits needed to be resprayed. Then loads of classic cars here. They've got a Z4 over there. They're doing a 635 CSI, an old Merc, a Maserati coming out of the paint booth. So loads and loads of cars. And then let me show you around the other side, because they've got some very interesting stuff there. A couple of Land Rover Defenders if you're into that kind of thing. They've got a 600 Pullman. They've got a Bentley T2, I think these are called. These are like the Silver Shadows, but the Bentley version, which is quite rare, especially over here. 600 Pullman. This side is more their their maintenance side. So what's that? A Silver Spur, probably. Another classic Merc. Yet another classic Merc. Flying Spur. Got a Beetle. They got this the Tommaso Pantera, which is a beautiful, beautiful car. Obviously seen better days, and probably stuck with parts. Oh, this one's a coupe. That's interesting. Never realised it was a coupe. What else have we got here? Another Silver Shadow, Mulsanne. Do like these cars, gotta say. That's a Bentley up there with the engine out. Oh, let's have a look at that. It's probably engine and gearbox, I'd say. But big hole in that one, so that's all been dropped from underneath the car. Pretty interesting. Engine bay of the Silver Shadow. Got another flying spur over there. But I think a couple of cars I missed actually. So Phantom, which is missing an engine, and everything else I think. Aston Martin Lagonda. I mean, just look at that. Look how angular that car is. These guys have another workshop, and they've actually got another one over there, another Lagonda parked up. But I think the best car here is not this one, but it's this one. This is a very rare Bentley Turbo RT Mulliner. So there's only 5 that were bought into Saudi. This is one of them. This is in great condition. Beautiful, beautiful engine. I just love this car. I actually said to the guy, if the guy who owns it wants to sell, then do let me know, because I may be interested in this. It's not often that these cars come up. And this is in a beautiful colour as well. Dark blue with very light cream. Seats could do with a bit of recolonisation there, but otherwise this is nothing really. I mean, such a rare car. And the back is closed. I can't open the back, but you can see it's in great condition. So I love that car. So let's go head over to the other workshop. Okay, so finally got the 2 cars side by side. My 1.5 Aston Martins, although right now the sum total is probably less than 1. Looks pretty good from the back until you get to the front, in which case it all sort of goes pear-shaped. Yeah, we're going to repair everything with a 145-piece Stanley kit. So this is my car, and it looks a lot worse now, because as we started to dismantle things have sort of started breaking apart. This was obviously damaged, so the fact that it has no floor or half a floor, don't worry too much about it. And as we started touching this was all sort of disintegrating in pieces, so it's come apart. I suppose some of the good things is, let me sort of bring you around here. So, you know, that's still the worst part of the damage. The worst part of the damage is this corner here, right? We stripped out the interior. We're trying to take out this central tunnel, which is proving a little bit difficult, and we're trying to get out the seats. But the problem is that the seat bolts, there's some in the front, some in the back, and the seat is slightly forward, so we can't access the front one. You need the electrics working to be able to move the seat back, which we can't do currently. So we're trying to work on that. We're going to have an electrician come tonight, and he's basically going to power up the seats, and then we can just roll them back, take them out. So we did a measurement, right? I just did a sort of a rudimentary measurement from one of the points here, can't remember exactly, from here to here. It's basically 2.5 inches shorter on my car compared to the gold car, and this was one of the reasons why I bought the gold car, because we can see that the roof is damaged, but the bottom of it is all fine. And we did the same measurement from here to there, and it's basically 2.5 inches longer. So what it basically means is we need to pull the frame back and everything 2.5 inches on this car. So I mean, incidentally, you know, we've stripped out a lot of things, but there's a couple of bolts in the back over there, which you can see better over here. So these bolts, these screws, it's a little bit weird because can't even work out where they're screwed into, but there's obviously screw holes there, and we basically need to take it out on this car to get this panel out, and we can't figure out how to get the panel out. I don't know if it's wedged in there because of the way that it's slightly pushed forward. So and I managed to loosen all of that up today as well, right? It'll be a lot easier without the seats inside, as I just mentioned. So here's a couple of things. what we have decided to do, one other very important thing as well, actually, before I tell you what we're going to do. So we had a look at this, right, and that's more or less flush. That's gone in there and that's gone out. So we weren't really too sure what's the right thing until we stripped this car, and we can see that's out, it's out, it's out, right? So it comes out and then it goes down. So clearly that's the correct way to do it. And as you can see, you know, all of the interior parts are all perfectly fine in this car, so we can just take it all from here and put it into my car. So what does it mean? Okay, so what we need to do is, underneath here is the fuel tank. We need to get access to the fuel tank so we can actually see it. There's an inspection hole there which gets you into the thing, but we want to make sure it's not damaged as well, and we need to probably re-push that out from the inside, okay, or replace that part from that car. So what we're going to do is, you know, we can see here now that the damage is in the center, a little bit on the left and not a lot on the right, or nothing on the right. So we're going to put it on the jig and we're going to pull this side slightly back. We only need to come back 2.5 inches, so it's actually not that much. The bigger complexity here is that it's aluminium and not steel. So, you know, that's more of the issue. But, you know, we know that it's not that bad at all, right? It looks a lot worse. I mean, everybody who's seen the car says it can't be repaired, and I don't know whether to agree with them or just keep trying. So I think I'm just going to keep trying. So we need to pull that back. That's one of the things that we need to do. Now, in order to do that, we need to get the car from here to the jig over at the end over there. The problem that we have is obviously there's no front wheels, and the back wheels are not exactly great, right? But the bigger issue is that there's no front wheels. So I brought the wheels over, the front wheels over, the suspension bits as well, okay, and the disc brakes to put onto the car. The problem that we now have is the bolts. They're not on this. I mean, those are the caliper bolts, so ignore those. The bolts to attach are not on this, and they're not here. So it would be the bolts that go through there and there, right? Those bolts are not here. I've had a look at the other workshop, which I showed you earlier. They're not there. So we might need to put on some temporary bolts just to be able to attach it so we can roll the car over and put it onto the jig, pull that side back, hopefully then get the rest of this out of the car. I can then inspect that at home, you know, sort of clean it up at home and leather treat it and all of that, clean it and do all that sort of stuff whilst they are getting the car ready. So that needs to happen. The issue that I now have is that I am actually flying back to the UK in a couple of days, in about 5 days time. So I'm running out of time, and I want to have this leather stuff out of here before I get back to the UK, because otherwise if it's over here it's going to get dusty, it's going to get damaged. So that in itself is an issue. So yeah, it's, you know, and you can see, I mean, I don't know if you can see that line there, it's just pushed forward, right, and it needs to come back. So that's what we're trying to sort out, but it's just so many moving parts. So talking of parts, there's loads of parts that have come out which we took over to the other workshop, and the gold car, you know, there's various bits here. So that door's actually toast, but the insides might be good. This looks really bad, but the glass is actually going to be this glass here, which is good. So we'll take it off here and we'll put it onto this one. Got the bonnet, which this bonnet is of no use to me, but we might be able to do some repair on it and it might be useful to somebody else, but I'm less worried about that for the moment. This is actually protecting the good bits that are sitting behind. So there's a door there which is good, one of the back doors. This back door is no good, so this is for the right side, the passenger side, but all of the things behind, the door card and all of that, the insides, they are all good. And then the other side of the back door is going to be this one, which again is slightly damaged, but this damage is nothing compared to the other door. So we can sort of sort all this stuff out, you know, we can get all of that done. So that is kind of where we are right now, and you know, it is coming along, but we're kind of hindered with a few little weird things, you know, like wheels. Really frustrating about that. So it's been a long day today. I got here early in the morning and my back is killing me. I'm covered in dust, I'm hot. It's about 44 degrees. Luckily we're indoors, so at least it's not 44 degrees in the sun. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave now. I don't know what time it is. It's nearly 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I think I'm going to leave now, head home, and try and work out what my next steps are with regards to the car. If you haven't done already, then do subscribe to the channel, like the video, because that really helps us out, but also share it with others. Others might be interested too. So thanks very much, and see you in the next episode.